Okay, so I wanted to do a video on Trump and the impeachment, second impeachment. What I don't understand is I understand why there's an impeachment and things of that nature. I understand the accusations basically against him, and honestly, as far as that, I mean, I already expected it. Do we really have to have any opinion on it? It's a matter of kind of like a fact rather than what he did or what, like, um, he is being accused of, whether it's true, whether it's not true. That's not really the point to me. The reason that's not a matter of concern is because we all know the outcome. I mean, I don't get why there is even a trial, honestly. I mean, I know why there's a trial because, I mean, this is the process that we go through. But if we go through this process with knowing the outcome of the situation and that basically who's going to say he's guilty is going to say he's guilty whether there's evidence or not, then what's the point of the trial? I mean, trials aren't just for decoration. To me, I mean, like, I kind of feel like before there was even a trial, before this year was even here, before, like in 2020, we all knew something like this was going to happen after his presidency. What I don't understand is, like, why Trump even has, like, some kind of defense team or whatever. Did it help him with anything in the past? No. So why the fuck do you think it's gonna help you now? Like, seriously. Really weird to me. I mean, like, if you already said back in November you thought something like this would happen, then why even be concerned about it? Why even be like, why would you even try and expect to get off when you already expected to be charged with something? You expect it to be guilty of something. And I mean, like, there were reports right before the election that he thought he might be charged criminally for some illegal activities and things of that nature, if he didn't win. So, I mean, like, we all know shortly after the election, we realized he was not going to win, you know? And I don't get then what's all this about, really, honestly. To me, it's like, well, you already know this is what you expected to happen. So I really don't get, like, what's this trial all about? Like, one side, I'm like, not trying to admit guilt, but isn't that basically determined by the fact that before all this even happened, you knew you were going to probably not be a free citizen with no, investigation, basically. Oh, hi, pretty brown girl, Ari. How are you? I'm just talking about the trial, impeachment. Um, I was watching a video on it yesterday. I just really, oh, well, that's great. Yeah, me too. I'm good. Anyway, his supporters, in my opinion, constantly are in a state of seemingly disbelief. Like, I keep like watching, I guess, more conservative platforms because I'm a conservative myself. And it's like, I don't get why anyone expects anything different out of this whole situation. I mean, we kind of knew what was going to happen if he lost the election, and he lost the election, and now we have a new president, and we have this impeachment trial. Oh, what'd you say? Honestly, yeah, exactly. To me, I am a supporter as well. Well, I voted for him. Um, so, but I mean, I feel like after the election, things kind of fell apart. And I kind of expected this whole thing to happen. And I feel like, the impeachment trial in itself, I don't understand what's he not really like admitting to, like as far as the impeachment trial. I mean, like we all know. Oh, yeah, me too, actually. I hope to get like maybe a president in 4 years, a better one. But the thing is, like with everything that happened in the last election, I kind of feel like, well, is there any real hope? And that was one thing I was reading on Steve Crowder's channel. I was reading some of the comments. People were saying how they wanted to like fight to make sure voting was better this next 4 years and the next 2 years. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, well, if it wasn't good last time and we didn't have it, you know, well, I'm trying to be careful about what I say there, but anyway, you get what I'm saying. I think that, you know, honestly, 2 4 years, what's the difference? You know what I mean? So that's why, to me, I mean, like, I do wish that there could be a better, like, option in 4 years, you know? But it's just like, honestly, how likely is that going to happen, you know? I don't know. I don't feel like it's likely. One major thing for me, though, as far as voting for Republicans and between Republicans and Democrats, I kind of feel like I don't really want to support anyone who seems to be more aligned with like the anti-Trump message or those who were more like in the middle. A lot of people think that now that, we have a new president, that the Republican Party can maybe redo their party basically and basically take the support of Trump supporters eventually. And personally, for me, I just don't want that. I don't want to be like used by like the Republican Party. That's one thing I've never been interested in. And honestly, like before Trump's presidency, I didn't even vote. I'm kind of considering going back to that. I'm not really sure. Like, it all depends, what the options are in 4 years. But I just know for sure I'm not going to vote for anyone who was, a liberal Republican or a Republican who didn't wasn't on the side of Trump supporters or anything of that nature. But one thing I do have a an issue with the whole um, Trump like supporters is basically like I feel like over the year, Trump supporters have really had it where they got really shamed and um, harassed and, you know, just basically their voices squashed. And I kind of feel like there was never anyone that really stood up for them or like basically supported them, you know. And I mean, that was one thing I didn't have an issue with, like the basically like the right wing and like the Republicans that did support Trump and Trump himself. You know, I felt like we were kind of like out on our own, and they kind of were like not. Oh, I didn't see other comments. But yeah, I just feel like we weren't really supported generally. I can't stand Joe Biden. He's going to ruin America. Yeah, my mother is actually planning to move. She doesn't like it here. She doesn't like the fact that they are making it where um, the federal funding for abortions, organizations, things of that nature, that kind of bothers her. And she doesn't like that part of this new administration. Personally, for me, I mean, that doesn't bother me too much. And many of his policies, I mean, I don't agree with. But I mean, like, I didn't agree with all the policies Obama had either, honestly. And I just feel like it's just I feel like it's just like, a bad time period. But I mean, like I said, with Obama, it was a bad time period. Some things I don't like, I guess, are just different things I've heard as far as the new administration's behavior. But other than that, I mean, like, really, I'm kind of just like complacent at this point. I mean, like, I did my vote and it is what it is at this point. Oh, hi, Lone Wolf. I didn't see you there. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. That's just basically all my opinions on, the whole situation with um, the Trump impeachment trials and some of the different experiences that Trump supporters have had through the year. It's just like I kind of stopped being so much of I stopped showing my support, honestly. like during the summer. I think it was like after the period with this guy, I forget his name, but it was some guy who during the riots and some of the dangerous. Oh, hi, Phantom of Arch Fiend. I agree with that lone wolf. I'm a bit of all that too as well. Like I do feel like I don't agree with Biden or Kamala. And I mean like some of the things that have been said, I kind of I'm like, well, he might be what some people think is, incompetent and things of that nature. I'm kind of just like, yeah, he didn't seem like a good option. That's why I didn't vote for him. But at the same time, it's just like as a Trump supporter, it's kind of just like at this point, I kind of just see myself as a Trump voter, really, but not really a supporter. I don't know. It's just like after the election, I just didn't care, and then before the election, I was kind of just giving up, kind of. But a major reason why I voted for Trump anyway was because of the behavior Biden had, because some of the racist stuff he said about black people, it just wasn't acceptable to me. Yeah, I do too. I prefer Republicans over Democrats. For me personally, I've always been a nonpartisan, but during the primaries, I'm always a Republican. I never am a Democrat. I've never voted for a Democrat, and I don't think I would vote for a Democrat even now. I between someone who is anti-Trump Republican and a Democrat, well, I wouldn't vote for an anti-Trump Republican. End of story. I think they need to have a lesson taught to them. Honestly, I just think that whatever happens with the Republican Party, Trump supporters need to never support, anti-Trump Republicans, because I mean, like, if they really get what they want with just like Trump, you know, not I mean, just being a one-term president, and them basically taking over the Republican Party, then they will just basically get the fruits of someone else's labor. And I don't appreciate that. Oh, he is? I don't like Scorpios, males. I didn't know Kamala was a Scorpio. Now that makes sense. Honestly, Kamala's personality I never thought was a turnoff. So I don't know, but male Scorpios, I don't get along with male Scorpios. I worked with a male Scorpio and it was terrible. I just don't get along with them. We kind of like butt heads. But mostly my main issue was just Joe Biden basically being like a um racist generally. Like some of the stuff he said, like if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and some other issues I had, like the main issue was that. That's what convinced me to vote for Trump, and I ended up voting for Trump on that. But other issues that I had was like, the whole statement he made about Obama and how he's clean and things of that nature, like black people weren't clean and things of that nature. That was another one that just was really uncomfortable to me. But he said a lot of uncomfortable statements about black people. And I mean, we're like 12 to 13% of the population. So it's like, how are you really going to be a good, um, president to all of the people when you have such negative thoughts about Black people. Like, I remember just recently before, right, like just right before the election, like, wasn't it like 1 or 2 months before? And he was saying how Black women, he was making a stereotype about Black women being menial workers, basically. And I mean, like, he just constantly makes blunders on like Black people, racist like statements about them and things of that nature. And it's just like, I just could not vote for someone like that with such a, negative view about me. So I mean, like, yeah, I never liked him, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, I do hope the best for the country. I mean, now that he's president, because I mean, like, why would I want the worst for the country? I mean, I gotta live here, so that's why I am not against his presidency after he won election or whatever happened. Um, but I mean, it's up to me to vote for him. He's never going to get my vote. That's kind of obvious, though. But most of my issue isn't with Democrats, honestly. Most of my issue is with Republicans and how they handled the last year. That's most of my issue, especially like with the riots and BLM and Antifa. Like how they handled that was just so weak. And as leaders, I just wanted them to be more, assertive and just, you know, actually fix the problem. And I didn't feel like they were. So it kind of felt like, what would happen if they were to win and have control? Like, I don't know. But yeah. Oh, oh, really? Yeah, I get along with female Scorpios. We tend to get along with each other, but male Scorpios, I don't know. They're a little bit too strong, honestly. I don't even really know much about Aquarius. I've never met an Aquarius, honestly. Well, I gotta go to the store. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.